Dude, I don't know how to stream anymore. I don't know how to stream anymore. I'm out here talking to myself with this not showing. Dude, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know what I'm doing, man. What is going on? Oh my gosh, dude, I don't know how to stream anymore. Oh my gosh. Yo, we're live. And it's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute um since I've actually streamed anything. So hello. Hello. Um Hi. How have you guys been? It's good to see you. Good to see you. I haven't streamed in a long time, but hey, I'm glad y'all can make it. I'm kind of winging this right now, but I hope that was the right link. Is that actually like okay? Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So, um, we're live. Sorry, I've been repeating the exact same thing for like 3 minutes. Sorry. Okay, so the last thing we did was back playing triangle strategy. A lot has happened since then. A lot has happened. Um, I think it's easiest to say I've changed quite a bit since then. Um, I think how I approach things is going to be very different from here on out. Um, so I'll explain this. December, right around Christmas, you guys got a video. Um, to me, it feels like that was a couple weeks ago, when in actuality, that was over 50 days ago. Because, yes, YouTube is being sure to give me the play by play updates for how long it's been since I uploaded. Thank you very much. But, yeah, I get it. It's been a while. A lot's happened. Been trying to go through some self improvement stuff. So, yeah, that's something I'm doing. And I feel, we all should, try to get into doing. And there's also school, which has been something I've been doing. So that's kind of to be expected. Like, literally, not a week after Christmas, I was already back in school again. And unfortunately, I actually have to go physically in school in 2023. And that sucks. I'll be there again tomorrow. But I'd say the biggest reason I have been away is balancing things in life has been difficult. Um, it's been very difficult for me to manage my time. This is something that's happened relatively recently. I'd say the second half of 2022, something happened to where when I feel overwhelmed, I I start falling apart, I guess. When I feel like there's so much I have to do or so much going on, I just kind of shatter and nothing gets done, or just the my healthy habits completely destroy themselves and become unhealthy habits. And I had never been like this before. I've always been somebody that and in a way, I am still like that. Um, when the going gets tough or when push comes to shove, that's my time. I've always been that way, where give me a deadline. If you don't give me a deadline, it's going to be harder. But when I have a million things to do and deadlines are coming up, that's when I've always excelled. But now that kind of hasn't been the thing. I mean, I've kind of relapsed back into those usual habits when, you know, the time is needed, then I'll get to work. But the second half of 2022, something happened to where I feel like I've just been able, the amount I can handle has been less than what it used to be, you know? So it's like, now I feel like balancing school, work, and, you know, I edit for another YouTuber, um, school, work, editing, you know, my own stuff, family, you know, and trying to, and very, very much failing at it, having a social life. You could probably see it in the bags under my eyes, but, you know, yeah. um, I'd been struggling to balance things a lot, and it caused me to just kind of fail at all of it. You know, I didn't want to leave my room, you know, because if I did, then I'd get absorbed, you know, with family stuff, you know, and or an argument might happen regarding that. So I'd just rather stay in my room, or, you know, I'd have stuff to do with editing, for this other YouTuber that would feel so overwhelming that handling it felt like the world was against me. um, school just school is probably the easiest thing right now, but knowing it's there looming because it's easy while you're dealing with non-easy things is what makes it stressful, or what had made it stressful. So because it's easy, instead of just handling it then and there, because it's easy, it's waiting till the last minute. Like, again, that homework and stuff is due tomorrow and I ain't even touched it yet. You know, I ain't gonna touch it tonight, but I will take care of it before school. I gotta go to school tomorrow because it's an evening class, so it'll be all right. But um sorry, I'm trying to get my words right. Um Work is work. Um but I'd say working for my own channel has been in the weirdest situation it's ever been in. Um, Usually it's been a comfort factor in the sense to where, um, even with minimal work, it would produce something for me. But during this large extended period where I haven't been uploading or even streaming, it's not like that anymore. And for the first time, it's not giving any return, if you catch my drift. And that has never happened, or at least not in years. And that's a very scary thing. And that itself has been a huge cause of stress. So I haven't actually publicly announced it yet, but some of you who may have remembered the um some of you guys may remember that I had a Discord server. That is gone. uh Basically because of the exact same things I'm saying now. uh the Discord server was doing nothing but stressing me out. The reason for that is because um it was a place originally where I can go and interact with my community. My community can interact with each other. That's what it always been, and that's what it always would have been, you know? But I think what really started hurting it for me was the fact that balancing life became so much harder, or so much more difficult to do, that it became a place to where I can't keep relying on my mods. I feel like for any good server, you know, people, when especially for these like content creator based servers, you know, you have to show up sometime. Not to mention social anxieties and such, you know, and the whole parasocial thing. Dealing with it was just a very difficult thing for me. And Discord was causing it. The fact that it existed and I wasn't doing anything with it is what caused a crazy amount of stress. Not just because, oh, I need to do something with it. Actively attempting to do anything with it was difficult, and I had never felt that way before. Mods and stuff like that, or even people who are just casual viewers would know that there have been many times where I tried to save it, game nights and stuff like that. Those of you guys who are long time viewers, you'll definitely remember those Mario Kart days and stuff like that. They like those were days. Those were the days. But ever since I've gotten older and stuff like that, and life's become more complicated, it just became, knowing that it existed without me doing anything with it was a cause of stress. That every time I went on Discord and have to pass by that server was just horrible. To where I said, and honestly, it started dying off. Honestly, my server kept itself alive for a long time, at least in certain channels like the JRPGs channel. People would share their Kingdom Hearts theories or talk about whatever JRPG news was coming out, things like that, Final Fantasy 16, etc. 7 Remake. It kept itself going, even if places like the main chat or just the memes part was kind of low key. And then I just deleted it without warning anybody. Well, mods got a warning, but nobody else did. The reason I wasn't looking for a pity party or anything. I only really notified the mods because they're mods. That's something, them being mods kind of gave them the reason to be checking the server and relieving them of their duty, I guess. I don't want to be making people do a job that I don't even find myself able to do, especially when I don't always know what people's personal situations or lives are like. So I can't expect people to do that when I can't take the time to look at it. So I just got rid of it. And that was it. You guys, it was sweet to get all those messages though, because where I thought nobody would notice, there were definitely people who noticed. So I appreciate that. But I've felt a lot better since it's been gone. I can't say that I'll never have a Discord server again. Maybe when I'm big enough to where, dang it, it can self run itself. Maybe I will do it again. But as of right now, I want the focus to be on me. I want to be able to create a server that you guys would want to join, not just because you feel obligated to join Discord owned by a creator you watch. Again, I'm a big viewer of YouTube, especially in these days I haven't been uploading. I'm just as much a viewer of YouTube as y'all are. So I get it. Joining somebody's Discord server, even subscribing to somebody's channel is going the extra mile for someone, and not to mention actually talking. Bro, I'm not used to talking this long. I'm sorry. I'm not used to talking this long. That's how you know it's been a while. I know it's going the extra mile. And again, I'm not trying to do no pity party thing. I'm just venting how I've been feeling, where I've been. There's no need to be sorry about the server thing. It was something that I chose to do for myself, and I'm glad I did, because it needed to happen. Again, it might happen. It might come back again one day, but we'd have to see. Regarding content, again, I am sorry there were no videos for a long time. I've kind of explained a bit of why, but I also feel like streaming has been something difficult for me as well. I feel like with how hard days have been, or long, or endeavors to get through they've been, the time where I would usually stream like later kind of has been filled with me either working on something or just relaxing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I fell into a huge show binge. Like, most people who know me know they know I'm not really a big watcher of TV and shows and stuff like that. I mean, I'll watch anime. I'm a pretty big anime fan, but even anime I fell off of pretty hard. But now I feel like during this time since like Christmas, I've watched like 12 anime and I've watched through like 9 seasons of shows. It's because it goes back to that imploding thing I was talking about before, when I just feel like I have so much to do and so much going on. I just kind of crumbled, and I just end up not doing anything at all. During those not doing anythings, a lot of Netflix and Crunchyroll were involved. And it's hard to feel bad for something like that, because again, I'm not looking for anybody to feel bad for me. I know what I did. And honestly, I wouldn't take back what I did, because again, I'm sorry for not uploading, but I'm not sorry that I did what I did. I feel like it needed to happen so I can discover this about myself. Hey, Quinn. I'm doing all right. I just needed to vent a bit. Thanks, Masters. I appreciate it. I'm okay, Mocha. Thanks for the hugs, DGC, Snive. I just, it's weird. I've never felt like this. I'm like, maybe just I'm getting older, dealing with stuff. It's just been more difficult, but I don't talk to friends like that. Anytime I do talk to a friend, they're like, I feel like I haven't heard from you in a super long time, because that's kind of true. I don't talk to friends. I don't, and you guys know me, I'm not really a community kind of guy. I don't go and talk within these fan bases that I like and stuff. Kingdom Hearts fan, Trails fan. I don't talk to communities. I just never had a good experience really with them. The toxicity just seems to overcome the sunshiny days, so I just rather not deal with them at all. So I'm more often than not sitting in my room, and I know it doesn't have to be that difficult. If you call up a group chat, somebody's going to answer. That's all it takes. But it's the what it takes to even do that, to get that far, is what really, really has been difficult. It's been very difficult. I can't take a break for a year or two. I couldn't. Mainly because I'm getting older. I know there are viewers of mine are probably older than me. The analytics of YouTube, my YouTube channel's analytics show that most of my viewers are either my age or older. So I am currently 25. I turned 26 this year. So, and being a 25-year-old that still lives at your parents' house, this is during those times where I know the average 25-year-old these days still lives with their parents, but still, this is the time of my life that I need to be grinding. I know I'm in school, but I need to be grinding. I need to be grinding every aspect of my life, because every decade of my life needs to get easier than the last. I mean, of course, I get it. Within the next 10 years, I'll probably have a kid. I'll probably be a dad or something, but it's like at the same time, so that'll be its own, difficulty. But at the same time, I want things to be easier than they are now. The type of difficulty I'm dealing with now is not something I want to keep going with in the next 10 years from now. So it's like, I want to persevere. So I think that's most of the sad stuff. So now I can kind of get into the positive note. I think I'm doing a lot better now. And as weird enough as it might seem, well, I guess maybe not so weird for me, I think video games are a big part of why I feel like I'm doing so much better. Specifically the Trails series. Part of one of the the times where I was here, I was streaming through Trails in the Sky first chapter, and obviously any of you guys who came out to those streams, I freaking loved that game. Little did I know how big a fan I'd end up becoming, and I did end up playing. I streamed some of SC, but that's when I kind of started falling off of streaming. It like it started falling off of streaming around the start of SC, and the switched triangle strategy. That's what really killed it. Right around then, I was done streaming like that. But that's when I hit that depression that was like hitting. Most of you guys that are here, I know some people are coming in. What's up, Sonic Speed News? What's up, TM? I TLDR, since some people are just getting in. I've been through it, man. It's been a lot mentally, but I think I'm finally at that point where I don't just crumble when so much is piled up on top of me. Again, I had never experienced that before in my life, and experiencing it now has been a very stressful and scary thing, I guess. I'd never been somebody like that, and to see myself being somebody to deal with that was strange. It's like who I was seeing or who I'm hearing isn't me anymore. Why am I acting like this? I know myself. Why am I being like this? And that was just a scary thing. But I am, for the most part, better now. I can still feel it. Each day, I'm trying my best. And today, I can say, was the most productive day I've had all year. I'm happy. So, in regards to content and, the 50 plus days of not uploading, it wasn't all doom and gloom. I'd say the worst of the days were maybe the first week of January. But by the end of the first week, I decided for myself that I would take all of January off, not to just relax, but to grind. I did a silent grind. And what I've been doing is a few things. Those of you guys that are looking at the channel now, hopefully it shows it. I have a new profile picture, which you guys can see is a brand new avatar. And I'm really, really pleased with how it came out. For me, it's been made for a hot minute. I think it was probably like November when it was made. It could have been December. No, it was December. It was early December. I'm looking back at it now. It's early December. It was finished. If you'd like to commission something yourself from her, this is her Twitter. Rail is really, really good. Her artwork is just so great. And honestly, if you're on Twitter and stuff like that, and part of like Kingdom Hearts or Sonic communities, or even like the Disney community, you probably recognize some of her artwork already, because some of her stuff kind of went viral. So, but not only is she the creator of my new avatar, she's actually going to be my thumbnail artist for now on, for the foreseeable future, for core videos that requires a bit of explaining. I'm going to be breaking my channel up into two basic factors. One will be the core series, where I have a certain level of projects I want to execute throughout the duration of the year, while the other parts will all be classified as just side projects. So that's a thing. So usually the side projects will be one-offs and stuff like that. I'm not trying to go through a series of something. This is just a game I'd like to cover. That's the side project. Or it could be just me doing a first impressions kind of video, like the falling in love videos you guys are used to. Essentially those. Those will also be classified as just side projects, because they're kind of work in progress videos, more of impression style ones. Can I recommend it based off somebody who's just kind of getting into it, or just the, hey, I've been playing this lately and I got to talk about it. Those kind of videos. For all side project videos, it'll be for general thumbnail style. However, for my core videos, those are the ones I plan on having her do the the custom artwork for it. I don't want to show it all off now, but as of right now, she's working on the third thumbnail, the third core video for it. Um, if you watch any reviews on YouTube in probably the last 10 years, you'll probably recognize the thumbnail style. It ain't anything new. The crossed arms avatar, on the same thumbnail as whatever game you're playing. It's not new, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be. I feel like as a viewer, I've talked about I talked about this before, but I'm a viewer of YouTube just as much as y'all are. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I watch more YouTube than y'all. But because again, I don't watch TV, I watch YouTube. But I feel like I had a brain fart. I don't even know where I am, who I am. um I feel okay. I think I remember. I watch a lot of YouTube. So I feel like I myself, kind of growing up with YouTube, I didn't fully grow up with YouTube. I'd say I started watching YouTube probably late middle school, maybe high school. Early high school is when I really started getting into YouTube. There was only really one YouTuber I would ever really watch when I was younger, pre-high school, but he got canceled now, so I guess we can't talk about him. That's pretty bad. But I'd say that me, who I am now, that you see, is made up of so many different things. I've become a product of like the creators I watch. I'd say while most of the YouTube videos I watch are like video game reviews, I feel like they're all so widely different from each other that someone could probably wonder how I'm a fan of all of these people when they're completely different from each other, you know? It's kind of like how a lot of people who say watch Dash EXP or Dash Games, for example, they're obviously a fan. They would probably be a fan of Corey Kenshin, the louder, creator who plays horror games mainly, even, etc. But then you have them also a fan of this ASMR channel. It's like, how are you a fan of both of these things, Sorry, I'm not streamed. um, to answer your question, no. This channel, I can say, would probably never be related to any one thing ever again. I'll never consider myself a Kingdom Hearts channel again. I can say that right now. I'll never be a monotonous channel. That's just not something I can do. Kind of like how I was talking about who I am with YouTube. I am the product of so many different creators. I'm also the product of so many different passions. So it's like, I love so many different franchises that I can't be somebody who only talks about one of them. Some people can do that. I know channels who like Sonic channels, for example. I know some Sonic channels who love other series, probably maybe even just as much as they love Sonic, or maybe even more. But Sonic for them is what blew up. So that's what they'll talk about. And I did that for a long time. People who are probably longtime viewers of mine, they know that Kingdom Hearts is what was working on my channel for years. So that's what I did. But anybody who knows me personally knows that you'll practically never hear me talk about Kingdom Hearts if it isn't for a video. And I don't like feeling like that. And in a way, yeah, it's kind of like how you talk different when you get on the job. But at the same time, when all of these things are your hobbies, I don't want to feel like it starts feeling like a job to talk about this thing. I'd rather my job be to talk a certain way than rather about a certain something. Talking analytically about something or talking about how I feel about something never feels like it's a job. That'll always be a passion. So it's like, if I can change what I'm able to talk about, that just feels great. So for those wondering the direction of the channel is always going to be, well, it's, I can't say for certain, but as of right now and for the foreseeable future, the core videos of the channel will be about RPGs. So your Final Fantasies, you know, your Kingdom Hearts, your Xenoblades, your Personas, any games like those, JRPGs will be the focus of the channel. Just because those are things I always have a passion about talking about. You know, I do like talking about other things, but at the same time, and RPGs are the ones I just never get tired of talking about. So that's why it's probably just best for me to stick with that. You know, I can say though that a side project can also not be an RPG. You know, like if I've been playing like a Hat in Time recently, and I'm just like, dude, I've been playing a Hat in Time for like 3 hours, like, and I've been playing this game every day. I need to just talk about it. And then I could do a one-off video about that just to justify the time I've been spending on it, you know? And I know because of my hiatus, I've kind of missed out on some really great games that I want to talk about. And I honestly haven't put much time into because of it. Like I just opened the other day, I just opened Fire Emblem Engage despite having it since launch day. You know, I've had Chained Echoes since launch day and I've only put a few hours into it. Granted, both those games are amazing. I love Chained Echoes. It's amazing. I've got 5 hours in Chained Echoes, and I've probably got about 3 hours into Fire Emblem Engage. But I really love those two games. They're great. But I also haven't been able to talk about them yet because of the hiatus. So as of right now, I don't think I have any plans to talk about Fire Emblem Engage. I do think that it's possible for me to make a video on Chained Echoes at some point, but with it being an indie game and people have already kind of stopped talking about it, everybody who wanted to talk about it already talked about it. And I was kind of on a hiatus then, so I kind of missed out on my chance. But I also want to say the direction of the channel is going to be slightly changing to where I'm not too worried about a lot of stuff anymore. My priority of this channel is, a long time it used to be just me. That's something I would never really tell anybody outside of Discord. And honestly, I've had friends tell me don't tell my viewers that, and they might even be on my stream right now listening to me telling you guys what they told me not to say. But I'm laying it all on the table. For a hot minute, YouTube was something for me. I didn't care what other people thought of the videos or why I'm doing this videos. Like, in a way, think of it like this. The videos served as a time capsule for myself. Say the Trails FC video or the World Ends With You video. That video serves as a way for me to remember everything I love about this game, you know, to categorize it, or the Chrono Trigger video as well. This video embodies my love for this specific thing. This has nothing to do with anybody who may be watching it, but it just has to do with me. I could look back at this video 10 years from now, and that video will make me remember how I always felt about that thing, you know? Or maybe I fell out of love with something, or maybe it's been so long and I haven't been able to play a game and I watch my video on it and I remember everything that what made me love that game in the first place. That's what those videos were mainly for. I didn't really care about the views or the viewers, but I feel like during this time, I've kind of slightly shifted from feeling that way. I feel like I do care. I think while the whole time capsule for myself thing is still a big influence on me, I do want to put out there my thoughts on this game to where I could come back 10 years from now and still remember how I felt back when I first played it, you know? But at the same time, I really want other people to see why I love these games, to see what makes these games so special, you know, to I want people to know how I feel. I want people to you know, maybe hopefully feel what I feel after seeing what I have to say. You know, maybe you played The World Ends With You and thought it was all right, but then when you we watched my video on it, you know, it gave you a newfound appreciation for it that you didn't have before you watched it, you know, or maybe you have no idea what Trails in the Sky is, and you watched my video on it, maybe spoilers and all, and it's like, yo, this is kind of crazy. I feel like I would like this, you know, and maybe you go and try out the series because of it, you know. I feel like a lot of those reasons are kind of like, I want my videos to mean something, not just to me, but maybe it'll get you into, I want people to play the games that I talk about, you know. I think at the core of what I want is for people to fall in love with the games I talk about, whether you're playing it for the first time or finding a newfound appreciation for it. I think that's the core of how I feel with these videos, or the main goal for these videos. And going forward, I'm essentially fusing all the types of content I used to do. You know, there are certain moments where it's kind of like I'm playing the game in real time, while at the same time there's mostly post commentary over, you know, gameplay footage, while also there being live segments like here. You'll see me sitting right here talking in front of the camera like this, you know, certain moment, interrupting myself, etc. I want them to feel like episodic entries into a series. Yeah, I mean that's just, it's same way how I feel, John. I feel like a lot of what I like, I wouldn't have really cared about The World Ends With You, you know, if I didn't go and play it or see it somewhere else. You know, there's like, if it wasn't for my friends talking about how much they loved, like, cause I have a friend who's going through, like, who's making videos of the Trails games. And if it wasn't for them, I probably would never have gotten into Trails. So it's like, I want to do for others what they've done for me, I guess. So that's what the new goal for the videos are going to be from now on. And maybe I'll upload something you don't care about. You know, you'll probably see a video called Trails in the Sky SC, and you're going to be like, what the freak is that? You know, but dang it, if you give it a try, you might find a game that you never would have found, you know, if you didn't check it out, you know. Dang it, that's what I want to do. And in a way, I'd probably have, you know, it'd probably be easier for me to just cover games that people don't obviously talk about. Like, I doubt I need to really tell somebody for 40 minutes why they should play Final Fantasy IX. Dang it, it's called Final Fantasy. Of course, that gives people enough reason to play it. You know, Final Fantasy has established itself enough to where you don't really have to convince people too often to play Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy. Same with Kingdom Hearts. But that's a bit of what I discovered during my depression era and stuff. I am doing a lot better. I am doing a lot better now. Again, I still feel the hesitancy to be in calls with people and stuff like that, though. So you probably won't be able to expect like collabs with me. Though I will say it's going to seem like, what's the word? I had another brain fart, bro. I don't talk this long often right now. It may seem like counterintuitive or whatever to what I'm saying, especially because it's already been done. I officially am starting the podcast that I talked about like 6, 7, 8 months ago, and technically started once like 4 years ago. But I am officially going to be starting that podcast. It's a bit more ambitious than I originally had intended it to be. Originally, it was just going to be me and one other person talking about what we've been playing lately. But then it turned into a whole team. And I probably should have talked this over with them before I did this. So because I didn't, I'll keep it slightly ambiguous. But with me and 3 other friends, we will be starting a whole separate channel for a podcast. Yes, it won't be a series on my channel like it originally was. And the reason for that is because I really want this to go somewhere. I'm not really the biggest podcast guy. I only really watch one podcast, and that's like Trash Days podcast, the podcast everybody watch. But that's the only podcast I really watch. But there have been so many conversations I've had on Discord, or even just, on stream, where people have always just been like, dude, that could have been a podcast, It's just like, dude, you're freaking right. Like, there's so many times with my friends where I'm like, we could have done this, that we're just finally going to do it. Honestly, I needed a push to do it. And a friend of mine did give me that push to say, no, we're doing it. Like, this is some artwork for it. We're going to do this. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I guess we're doing this. Yeah, we're doing this. It's a thing now. So I needed that. During that grind time that I told you guys about that I had been doing in January, the first episode has already been recorded. Me and the 3 other friends, we've already recorded it. I will announce more of it at a later date. I do want us to get a bit ahead. I know we're technically ahead already, but I would rather us be a couple podcast sessions in before we really launch it. That way we have some buffer room. But yeah, before the official launch, I'll be announcing it in videos and announcing it on the community tab and Twitter, etc. If you follow me whatsoever on Twitter, anything, you'll know about it. You'll know when it's happening. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But that's going to happen. I'll be linking the channel when that happens and everything. So you'll be able to see the podcast whenever that happens and stuff. So the main goal is to begin editing it after I finish editing the SC video. So that just gives you a little estimate to when you could probably start expecting it. There's still some work to be done with the channel. Like, there's no actual channel art posted on the channel, hence why it's kind of not being prioritized yet, especially with me needing to upload so on my main channel. So I feel like if you're doing a side project and you don't have anything to link yourself back to, like if somebody were to see this podcast and meet me through this podcast and they go check my channel and I haven't uploaded in 60 days, they're probably not going to subscribe even if they enjoyed the podcast, because it looks like I don't upload often, So at least that's what I would do. If I was looking at a stream, if I was looking at a podcast or something like that, or I'm looking at a channel and I see, like, I watched this video, I enjoyed it, but then I see they haven't uploaded in like 2 months, 3 months, or their videos are like really sporadic, I might not even subscribe because of that. And I feel like this break time has been a good way to reset my content creator brain. Most people who upload consistently or have gone at least somewhere with the content creation thing, they fall into this creator brain, and it's such a brain rot to where it's hard to really think about what it's like to be a viewer, and I feel like this time gave me that time that I needed to really reset my brain. And now that I kind of feel like I remember how some viewers think, I can kind of prepare myself for that. I know that because, again, I haven't uploaded in a hot minute, maybe the first video is not going to take off. I'm sure it'll still do well because it's a good video. Even though it's not made yet, I'm going to start editing it. It's a good video, so I'm sure you guys will like it. I will say though, because it's trails, you probably should watch the FC video first, which I'll be able to link. But what's up, Chillwave? It's been a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Just basically going over where I've been during these last like 2 months of not uploading. Essentially, depression just kind of set in. Felt like everything was falling apart, but I'm all right now. Will the podcast have guests? As of right now, there are no plans to do guests. Not saying there won't be any in the future, but I feel like while we're starting out, it'd be best to have our core members be the only ones present, because I try to, of course, we'll have viewers like you guys, like who know us from our individual channels, will want to check out the podcast, but we also have to consider people who have no idea who I am. Like, say, one of my co-stars, one of my co-hosts, their channel might not know who I am, so they need to get used to my voice before we start having people that they have no idea who they are either. If for a podcast, if you don't recognize your core members, then you probably shouldn't be doing guests. So at least until we're nice and cozy, consistent with the podcast, there's no plans to have guests, but I would like to do guests eventually. It's just that there's already 4 of us. So having 4 people for a podcast is already a lot, because start interrupting each other and all that stuff, it's already a lot. So having a member, like a guest, already adds like there being 5 people. So we just gonna figure out our dynamic. Yeah. Sorry, I know I missed a couple comments. You're one of the level-headed content creators. I know you can make it, bro. Also, what's your thoughts on Forspoken? I really think the game was nice, but not worth $70. Shout out to Square for giving me Forspoken during my hiatus. My opinion on Forspoken is I'm waiting till the game gets patched on PC to play it more. It is currently uninstalled. There was a update for the game. There have been 2 updates, actually. The first update was kind of just fixing some spelling errors and fixing Steam Deck performance, while the second one seems to be a PC focused update, but none of them seem like to really fix the issues I was having. Like with my PC specs, there's no reason this game should be running this bad. I've played more graphically intensive games on this PC and it's fine. If I can play the new Call of Duty Warzone, at 120 FPS constantly with 150 players on the map, then I should be able to play this single player open world game at higher than 30 FPS. Come on. Come on. So I don't want to hate on Forspoken or anything like that, because I just simply do not have enough time in the game to properly critique it, because I just can't play it. If it was on PS5, that'd be a different story. But I mainly game on PC, and Square mainly provides me with PC stuff because that's the most consistent way for me to offer the best experience. PC versions of games are usually the best version because higher frame rates, higher resolutions, etc., etc. But that's not the case for Forspoken, and I'd rather not give it a critique or a video when I know it's in a lower quality state. I'd rather go back and take a look on it, maybe who knows when it's actually presentable. I mean, that in itself speaks some volumes, but I would have rather taken care of Forspoken and that be the first side project to do. But again, I don't feel comfortable recording this way. This thing bogs down my computer. Homie, when I played Forspoken last, it crashed my OBS and my Steam. It's just like, I don't feel safe recording that game, but I don't know. I'll get to it at some point. Yeah, I'll get to it at some point. Hey man, shout out to you from me. Keep going, man. We up for the next Black Gamers. Hey, I appreciate that. I feel like that's kind of something that I've taken more pride in since I've been gone too. I feel like in my niche of YouTube, you don't see Black reviewers like that. And I know to a lot of people, oh, we talk about race, it doesn't, why does the race matter? That's what I should be asking. Why should it matter? But I'm just saying, I've seen the analytics. I've seen that a view, like I've gotten, like when I do a video with my face in it, people are unsubscribing. I'm just saying. A video, I can upload the exact same video, but if one video had my face in it and the other version didn't, the one with my face in it would have more people unsubscribing. I'm just saying. I'm not claiming anything. I'm just saying that's how YouTube is, you know? And so that was kind of, for those that might remember, maybe 2 years ago, there was a time when all of my videos were face cam videos. And they would cut to random B-roll Kingdom Hearts focused videos. But I'm going back to that now, like I kind of explained before. You know, there'll be segments of the video that have live face cam, other times there'll be post commentary, etc. It's just like, you don't like, and I bet you a lot of people you watch might even be black without you even really realizing it too. There are simply a lot of black people on YouTube who don't want to show that they are black because they feel like they can't, or that puts them at a disadvantage. I'm sorry. Maybe some people don't want to hear it. Some people want to deny it, but I'm not here to beat around the bush. Bro, I got to live with this. I can't hide from it. You know, if like, I guarantee you, if like, okay, think of it this way. This stream right now, this stream would not be the same if it was like this. You see what I mean? You hear my voice and, you know, some people like the whole deep voice, you know, in their ears, you know, despite not being much visually, you know, they like that. But at the same time, having face cam in your content also adds a bit of personality to where in the way that just a voice can't do. I'm not saying that you need I'm not saying you need to have face cam to have personality. Look at somebody like Donkey, a big popular YouTuber who talks about games or makes fun of games, but he doesn't do face cam in his videos. His personality shines through without that. And yeah, I think every successful creator should be able to do that. You know, every person who wants to be a successful creator should be able to do that. But I also feel that depending on who you are, sometimes it's easier to express yourself while knowing people can see you. You know, for me talking with my hands or looking at the camera, all that stuff, I could be doing all this, talking all this way and everything like that. But as soon as I'm like this, none of that matters. None of that matters, you know. But if you can see me doing this, you can see how much I'm emphasizing it, not just through my voice, but you get the double reassurance through my, you know, body language, you know. So it's like, that's basically how it is. So it's like, it's just like, I've always felt like that, where I feel like I can't show my face, but in a way, I guess how I've kind of changed during this time, I don't care anymore. If you want to unsubscribe to me because my skin's the same color as the chocolate you like to eat, then homie, that's your loss, bro. That's your loss, because I don't need you here to talk about Chrono Trigger. I don't need you here to talk about why Trails is freaking goated. You know, there will be more people. There will be, for every person who unsubscribes because of something like that, there's another person who will replace them that just doesn't care, you know? And I take pride in who I am, because at the end of the day, I know there's not a lot of people like me, you know, personality wise and skin color wise. I know in my niche, there isn't a lot of reviewers who openly show, at least, that they are black. That's just how it is. And what's the reason for that? I don't know. Maybe there just aren't a lot of black people who review stuff. That could also be it. But you could also then ask the question, why don't they? Maybe there are black people who want to, but just don't, because they know in this niche of YouTube, a lot of times, a lot of reviewers show their face, and knowing that they'd have to or should be showing their face when they want to do this kind of thing may be a reason why they don't do it at all. I'm just saying that it's harder to understand when you've never had to go through it. So Just saying. And it's not always just, of course, this is me talking about black people, but it's more than just a black thing. You know, practically every minority has to go through that. Every person of color has to go through that, so they all basically had like understand where I'm coming from here. So those that don't understand, just trust me that there's something there, even if you can't see it. But I also think the fact that not everybody can see it also speaks volumes about what's really going on here. What's up, Last Samurai? People are wild. I hate it. Yeah, I hate it too. But I've also been living with this my entire life. The whole getting followed in the store or something like that. Hold up, let me see that receipt. Where's your receipt? I've lived with this my entire life. So this ain't something new. We have to become gaming YouTubers. They only mess with us if we do skits or other niches and stuff like. I mean, you're kind of right about that. High key, you see a lot of skit channels like that are black. RDC, Caleb City. You'll see Long Beach Griffey. You'll see a lot of them are that. The black people are okay if you're doing funny stuff. I'll handle black people when they're being funny, and I'll give them that. But they better not be talking about my video games. They better not be analyzing my video games. Bro, how about this? Oh, Burleasy, how about this? I'm black, and I can tell you why Near Replicant is amazing. How about that, bro? How about that? I'm black, and I can talk for 2.5 hours about why Chrono Trigger is one of the best games ever made. How about that, bro? How about that? I can do that. Yeah. And you know what? I don't have to be funny either. I think I can be funny, though. I don't really consider myself a funny guy. I don't think anybody subscribed to me right now would really consider me a funny guy. I think, if anything, I guess most of my humor comes from emphasis or body language, I guess. So, I don't know. I guess my humor is very dry humor. I don't tell jokes, I guess, or make funny sounds or anything like that. I've never been somebody like that, but I got a little bit going on. I was the glass clown to avoid bullying at 1.2. I know how it works. But yeah, back on topic. I didn't really talk about the plans for this year. At the end of the Nier video, I guess the last time y'all really heard from me, you heard me talk about how I'm going to be prioritizing Fire Emblem as my the main thing I'm going to be tackling for a bit. I said that I would like to proceed with the channel going in a marathonic type style, to where this marathon would probably be like the classic Fire Emblem games, 1, 2, and 3. And then maybe I'd move on to Trails in the Sky, 1, 2, and 3. Then maybe go back to Fire Emblem and then do 4, 5, and 6, etc., etc. Or maybe even do Final Fantasy after that, 1, 2, and 3. But I've decided I don't want to do that. Maybe part of it is because of what I'm dealing with right now. But I've decided that I'm not going to do this yet. I am going to do nothing besides, this is excluding side projects. So like a video on Forspoken, Chained Echoes, Fire Emblem Engaged, those, etc. Those could all still happen. Also eligible for side projects would be like Chrono Cross, for example. I've already covered exhaustive length Chrono Trigger, but because I never immediately followed it with Chrono Cross is now eligible to be a side project because there's only one more game in that series. Another game that also would qualify would be Neo: The World Ends With You. I already covered The World Ends With You, but because it's been a while and I haven't covered Neo, I can't make a marathon of that. So I would just make Neo: The World Ends With You a side project that could just happen at any time. I'd say if like it's a 2-game marathon, 2-game series, and I haven't covered either of them. That kind of lets me be able to classify it as more of a main project than a side project, like say Octopath Traveler, for example. Because there's 2 games in that series, I can kind of do those back to back if I really want to. But I also feel Octopath Traveler might be best done as side projects because of how big boy they are. So thanks, Chillwave. I want to see you try and explain the last third of Chrono Cross. Well, I might have a better go at it after another playthrough, because I only played Chrono Cross the one time, and my mind was already broken enough going through the end of that game. So trying to put it into words, I think I'm pretty good. Like when I'm writing something down, I think I'm pretty good at deconstructing what a story's trying to do and what's going on for the most part. But I also know that when it is difficult, I just don't even try sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, with the Nier videos, with Nier Automata and Nier Replicant, I ain't even try. Like, I made a slight attempt at describing and analyzing the thematic purpose of the game's narrative. But to actually explain what is actually happening, that didn't happen. that didn't happen. Have I played Hogwarts? No. I know nothing about Harry Potter. I know nothing. I never grew up with Harry Potter. I don't know nothing about this whole J.K. Rowling stuff. I literally know nothing about her or Harry Potter, so I don't know nothing about that. So I'm not exactly interested in playing the game, especially with all the controversy surrounding it. You know, I don't fully know everything that's happening, but like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm not exactly intrigued to play a game that has so much controversy around it. And to some people, that kind of makes them want to play it. But at the same time, the biggest reason why I kind of don't care about anything else right now is because I can't stop playing Trails. What's happening to me? When I got back to SC, when I stopped streaming SC, that's when I stopped playing it for like 5 months. It was like maybe late November, December. Might not even been that. When was the last time I played SC actually? Bro, I finished SC just over a month ago. I finished Trails in the Sky SC on January 11th. I have already played 2 more games after that. 2 more RPGs after that. So it's like, okay. So this kind of ties into the new direction of the channel. So for the marathon's sake, unless I say otherwise, you know, maybe I won't feel like playing Final Fantasy all the way through or something like that. But unless I say otherwise, my channel is just going to become whatever it is I'm playing. Like Trails, I don't want to do nothing else besides Trails. You don't understand. I mean, I'm going to play Octopath 2 when it comes out, you know, and I might make a one-off video, like my falling in love type of video for it, before I do a full-out video on it, because I probably would do both. You know, especially like when you get like review codes and stuff like that. Square is pretty kind to my channel, and they do give me a lot of review codes and stuff like that, so I do appreciate that. But I also, even though I'm not contractually obligated to do anything, I still feel bad for not covering a game they give me a key for. So like, again, Forspoken, also Tactics Ogre Reborn. I think about a lot of the games they give me. Like a lot of the Pixel Remaster games, I haven't covered any of those yet. I've made videos about the Pixel Remasters, but I haven't made like my thoughts about it. They can look at my channel and see that in regards to my bread and butter content, I've not done anything on those things. And that might have been in mind when they gave me the keys. So as of right now, I'm going to say that this channel, at least for 2023, unless I say otherwise, which probably isn't going to happen, is basically going to be a Trails channel. I mean, of course, side projects will happen. a side project might not even always be a game review. You know, maybe I'll finally do that turn-based versus action-based game video. Maybe I'll finally do that, you know. But more likely than not, the side projects will be one-offs, you know. But they're also, like I said before, they're not tied to my usual JRPG thing. I said this about a year ago, but I would love to get into doing indie games and talking about indie games. My thing is, when it comes to AAA games and studios and stuff these days, they lose money for trying out new things these days, you know? So it's like they could go and try out endorsing these other series and these passion projects like they used to do back in the day. But now they're actively punished for that. That's why you think Assassin's Creed keeps getting games like this, or Call of Duty keeps getting releases like this. You know, that's how it be. You know, they have to do this if they want to make money and, you know, go up in the fiscal year, you know, with all their revenue and stuff. They have to do things like this. So I feel like when you don't have those AAA restrictions and stuff like that, individual people can just make whatever the freak they want, man. Something they love, you know. Indie developers love video games. They grew up loving video games. So they want to make something that they would love, you know. So it's like, that's why I really think indie games are some of the most important kinds of games that come out, you know. And I feel like so many people, because they're indie games, just go under the radar. They don't have the marketing, they don't have the name, the brand recognition to really sell some of these products. And I know when it's an indie game, it costs less to make, so them making anything at all is usually a good thing, you know. But sometimes you also have those indie games that do make it big. Undertale, Omori, you know. Then you have ones like Lisa, you know, Ebe, you know, The Crooked Man. You have games like that kind of overstep that, you know, they got over the barrier, I could say. Who all gets that? You know. But side projects, I'd love to do some indie games. You know, I would personally prefer story-based indie games, but I would love to test myself on seeing how I would talk about non-RPGs. I've never done a review of a non-RPG, you know. Well, I guess technically, if you guys were there during the Jordan the Analyst arc, I technically did do that. Ukulele. I do love platformers. People might not realize that about me. As a fan of RPGs, you'd think platformers would be some of the things I like the least, but I feel like most people like platformers to some degree, because platformers are the core of what video games are. You know, it's like, I feel like if you can make to make any game, you have to be able to make a platformer, because a platformer is the basis of what a video game is, in terms of the actual game design, in terms of character exploration, character level design creation, all that kinds of stuff. It's basically the core of what a game can be. You know, I feel like in a way, you have to make a platformer before you can make anything else, if that makes sense. And I feel like the companies that don't do that is why some of their games kind of struggle. I feel like I do agree why some people would not fully agree with that. Like say a mobile game. If this mobile game is like a visual novel, I don't need to make a platformer to make a visual novel. And yeah, I get it. But I'm referring to games with gameplay. Like, the core of platformers is the fundamentals of level design and, you know, object geometry and stuff like that. So being able to learn that, learning how to make a platformer will help you learn how to make anything else. I guess I can say it that way. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. Sorry, you guys know what happens when I start talking. He slammed out 360 plus hours RPGs in a month. Welcome to the Trails brain rot. It's been bad. Genma's known. Subscribe to Genma, man. Especially if you're a fan of Trails. Subscribe to Genma. Um, I've been going through it. I've been trying ever since I beat zero. I've been getting the urge, man. I feel it, man. I need more trails, man. It's like I need Azure so badly because it's like Azure feels like the worst place to stop because I just played the setup game and I know what like the climax games are like in Trails. If SC was anything to go by, like I know Azure's gonna hit. And most people say like out of all of like the first 5 games, like this is the one. This is easily the best by far. So it's like, dang. And it's the only thing stopping me from getting through the next 4 games that are already out, the entire Cold Steel series. It's like, dang, once I get like I want to play Azure because then I won't have to wait at all. Because by the time I beat Cold Steel 4, Reverie will already be out, you know? And dang it, by the time I beat those 4 RPGs, 5 RPGs by the time Reverie comes out, maybe Nayuta, because Nayuta will also be out. And that's Trails. So 6 games. Maybe by the time I beat the next 6 games, maybe the first Kuro game will be out. Out of curiosity, what is it that you love about RPGs so much? Is it their storytelling? Um, it would be lying to say if it wasn't their storytelling, but it's not just their storytelling. RPGs are some of the I love RPGs for the same reason why I love story-based games. They don't necessarily have to be RPGs. Like a lot of you might not know this, or maybe this will make me lose some credibility, but one of my favorite games is The Last of Us. And yes, I love The Last of Us. I played through it 9 times. But the reason I love The Last of Us isn't, it's obviously not an RPG, but it's the characters. I feel like story-based games are some of the best ways to explore characters. You explore characters in non-story based games from a surface level. In a Mario game, we're not really exploring Mario's, bullied childhood years, but we're learning about Mario fundamentally through his actions and him mechanically. But I usually prefer RPGs over other story-based games just because there's a bit more range to what they're about. I will admit, I've definitely not experienced too many Western RPGs. Like I've never played Skyrim, for example. Um, but I've never played Skyrim, for example. But there are so many different things that I haven't played, and so I can't really say I don't like Western RPGs because I've never really played them like that. Last one I played was The Outer Worlds, which was incredible. But I'd say I prefer RPGs because there's so much variety in what they can be about and stuff. So that's just personally what I usually prefer. Sorry, I had family come in. um, but yeah, I prefer RPGs because the variety is so extreme. In Western RPGs, a lot of times it's like they usually follow the same structures and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, The Last of Us on the surface doesn't seem like it's that different. It's another zombie game, you know. But what makes it different is how it executes said story in that familiar setting, you know. And RPGs are pretty similar in that sense too. Yeah, this is another RPG about a gang of people going out and exploring the world. But dang it, you can't tell me Final Fantasy IV is anything like Trails from Zero. You just can't tell me that's the case. I feel like RPGs are like JRPGs are much more willing to try out something wacky or something different than a Western RPG is. But I also think that's just how things are with certain audiences. Western audiences aren't as into things that RPGs can get away with. And that's just how it is. And I'm somebody who, I guess you could say I'm a fan of Japanese culture, but even if I wasn't, I feel like I'd like it because I mean, look at Steins Gate. I love Steins Gate visual novel so much because as a time travel story, it's so much different than what a lot of Western movies and stuff like that do for time travel, you know? So I guess it would be, I love JRPGs um, for their storytelling, but I love the way they execute their character exploration, you know, because at the end of the day, I feel like I can get over a game not having a great story, but I don't think any game can really get over having bad characters. What's the point of having a good story if you don't have good characters? You know, I feel like everything falls apart if you don't have good characters. Like Mario in a platformer might not be that well explored as a person, but in a way you kind of explore who he is mechanically through the gameplay. You know, Mario is somebody who's quick to jump into action when somebody's in trouble, you know, and I get that without having to hear that from the Mario game, you know. And I feel how they try to execute Mario's character works for what they try to do, you know. But that was a very long-winded explanation to a very short question. But that's the Kingdom A special, baby. I hope you enjoyed that. That's your Azure go back and forth, honestly. I mean, Azure is close to Chrono Trigger for me, so anything that even comes slightly close to Chrono Trigger must be amazing. What's up, Archie Luigi? I just spin off. It's probably connected to the overall story, but if it's like thousands of years before or something, standalone. I know it's standalone, but if I've already beaten Reverie and Kuro's not out yet, I'm gonna play Nayuta. I'm gonna play it. I mean, it's Trails, even if it's in technicality only, I'm gonna play it. Have I seen The Last of Us TV series? Yes. I love it. I love it. I'm not the biggest fan of all of the changes, but I think they've well executed the intent behind everything. So at the end of the day, even though some things were changed, it doesn't really matter because the end result is still the same. I won't fully spoil it because it's an ongoing series, and I know there's a ton of people who haven't played The Last of Us that are watching through it for the first time. So I won't spoil anything. But yeah, it's great. Respect for that game, dude. It's magnificent storytelling, even though it's not for me. Wait, what game? Oh, you're talking about Last of Us? Western media loves to be grounded, but our main exception is superheroes, which is basically our anime. That's kind of true. Western media loves to be very grounded outside of superheroes. Superheroes seems to be the only concept that Western media takes to really, you can, they do explore some fantasy in the, like with vampires and zombies. Vampires, zombies, and superheroes are the main ways Western audiences tend um to keep themselves from being too grounded. But even then, in those fantastical settings, they tend to have grounded stories. You know, the execution of what they're trying to say is very grounded. And I feel a lot of things, even Japanese media does that. But I feel like even if the message in a lot of Japanese media is grounded, something that's real, that a lot of people maybe are or can be going through in their life, you know, I feel like the way they execute a grounded story is so widely different than what Western media does that it appeals to me more. I feel like it's because I grew up around Western media. I'm in that phase of my life that's been going on for 10 years, I guess, that I'm trying to see more than just Western media. I'm getting into RPGs and stuff like that because they're this different. You know, they're different than what I'm used to seeing all the time. Yeah, grounded, I basically mean a realistic sense. Like, I guess anybody that may know, the ending of The Last of Us. That is something that could, even though it's a fantastical setting, it is something that is still, at the end of the day, very grounded in reality. The way Joel feels and the decision he makes and stuff is grounded. Any person who's a parent or looks after, a child probably can understand that. Or, and even if you don't, someone who's old enough to understand or be able to like understand and perceive that idea can probably get that. So, and I feel that's a very grounded way to really show character for a lot of these people. And again, Last of Us is just kind of different. I know to a lot of people, again, it's just another zombie game, but dang it, it is so much more to me. One of these days, I'm going to do a Last of Us video and it's going to catch everybody off like track. Nobody's going to see it coming. And it's just going to be like a 3-hour video about The Last of Us, bro. That's going to happen one day and it's just going to be brilliant. It's going to be amazing. If I had to hazard a guess as to why even fantasy is so different, our culture has largely preferred the father of modern fantasy, Lord of the Rings, especially after the movies. I can see that. That the most fantasy magic kind of thing that you do see is probably that. But I will say Western media does delve into like wizards and mages and stuff like that at times. I feel like it's not enough of it. It's weird because it's like I'm so used to like Western media doing stuff like that and everything. I feel like now it's a time where they don't do it as much as they used to. Like, what popular series do you know about that uses wizards that isn't Harry Potter? You know, it's like hard to really come up with something. And I'm sure there's a niche book series or TV series out there, but it's like it doesn't really pop like that. Well, at the same time, I can come up with 1,000 anime that do the whole, chosen hero, let's go defeat the Demon King kind of thing. I can name a bunch of series that do that, but how they do it is so different from each other. Like, one of my favorite genre of anime is freaking isekai. I know, I hate me too, but isekai are like, while there are so many of them that are bad, the ones that are good are so good. Maybe it's because isekai and fantasy anime are they're so close to RPGs, and I love the RPG setting. The warrior, the mage, the priest, etc. The fighter, the thief. They're all going out on a journey. I love that, man. I freaking love it. And it's crazy because I've practically only beaten one Dragon Quest game in my life. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, Konosuba is definitely a parody of isekai, but Konosuba is so good, bro. It's so good. It's so good. I wouldn't mind a Last of Us video. Owl House. I know nothing about Owl House, but all I hear is about how good it is. That's all I hear about. Maybe I should watch it. I would love to make some side videos to be about TV shows or movies, but that sounds like a legal bad experience. So that's probably not going to happen. You're gonna play Kingdom Hearts Missing Link when it comes out. Yes, but I can't promise there will be any videos on it of the sort. I feel like we got super off track. But the analytics are enjoyable. Sorry, I'm looking back at some of the ones. Plus, the creators of indie games utilize the love for certain series to bring us something spectacular, for sure. I don't count Zelda, and you covered that. Yeah. I would love to cover Zelda. One day, I'll do like that year of Zelda. My marathons are probably going to be like year ofs now, unless I say otherwise again. But this year, my main goal is to cover every Trails game. My goal is to hit at least one core video a month and maybe 1 to 2 side projects. Like one side video I'm thinking about doing. Well, it's obviously Octopath Traveler and Neo, the ones I've mentioned before. But one in particular I really want to do, especially since I'm craving Falcom right now, is Tokyo Xanadu. I've never beaten Tokyo Xanadu. I am 11 hours into that game, and I've recorded I'd say 90% of the game I've played Out of those 11 hours that I played, I recorded 9 of them for sure. Um, that would be a game I'd really love to do a video on because Falcom, and it's fun. I feel like that'd be a nice little side game to do. It's a pretty meaty game too. Like I think it's just as long as like a Trails game, like at least the early Trails games. I don't know about Cold Steel, but like I know it's at least 50 hours for sure. But I think that'd be a cool side project to do too. I also again would like to cover some smaller indie RPGs. Like I would love to do a video on Crosscode, Chained Echoes, Cosmic Star Heroine. You know, I'd love to do those. Those are all games I want to do, and I'm positive I will do. But in time, in time. Also, like I said before, I started to say before at least. I plan on. Let me stop this. Why is it not stopping? Um, I plan on what was I talking about? I was talking about in this last past January here, I was trying to get ahead. I've been grinding. Not I wasn't just getting her to make my artwork. I was also playing through the games for these videos. So while the video I'm about to upload for Sky SC is that game, I've already actually played and beaten Trails Third and Trails from Zero. So remember back a while back before my hiatus, I was saying it's like I love getting the videos out, but getting a video out and then like trying to play through this whole RPG just to make the next video and then have to play through a whole RPG before the next video was hard. But I've kind of alleviated that now to where honestly, if I'm playing a game right now, instead of watching stupid anime, I should be playing Tokyo Xanadu because if I do want to play that game, then if I do make a video on that game, then I can have another stay ahead. Hold up, no way, no way. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Sorry, dude. No way, no way, dude. No way, dude. No way. No way, dude. Yeah. Dude. Oh my gosh. Yo. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Oh my god. What the heck, dude? Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up, hold up. What do I have to do? Come on, come on. That is a lot of rules. Hold up. Sorry. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, dude. Yo, that's so great. I'm sorry, bro. That's so great. Sorry, you guys have no idea. But I'm technically not allowed to say what it is. But let's just say you never know who's watching your streams. As, and I'm pretty sure that might not have happened if I wasn't streaming tonight. I genuinely think that is this only happened because I was. Um Anyways, I'm sorry you guys had to see me in such a unprofessional manner. I apologize for I apologize for such a thing. But say brother was starving. Brother was starving. Wait. So, Jump Force. I don't think I banned the word Jump Force, but knowing Jump Force, I might have. I might have. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, guys. I'm all good. Let's just pretend the last 5 minutes didn't happen. I don't even remember what we're talking about. But yeah, I need to continue. The goal is to essentially keep getting ahead of myself. I probably look crazy without my headset on right now. Like my hair, I just got my hair. Oh my goodness, bro, my hair looks crazy right now, bro. um, I got my hair retwisted, and it's going all kinds of ways right now. I've been busy today. I've been taking this thing on and off. I'm looking kind of crazy right now, bro. But um um Tokyo Xanadu, yeah. Um like Tokyo Xanadu would be another game I'd really want to do because Falcom is the GOAT, and I'd want to do that game because I really enjoyed what I played, but at the same time, I feel like it would also work as a good side project while the channel is so much Falcom. Um, I also thought instead of Tokyo Xanadu, I could do East 8 because those of you guys that remember when I was first trying to get back into doing these reviews and stuff after the whole Jordan the Analyst thing, um, East 8 was going to be the first thing I did, or after Chrono Trigger, or after Kingdom Hearts. I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of the first ones I was going to do. But I decided to not do it because I feel like in the end now, I was going to end up doing it as a side project for this whole thing I was just discussing with you guys. But I decided that when I do East 8, I think I'll go in order and play all the East games and have a year of East, and just play through the games from the crunchy old ones to the beautiful new ones, man. Maybe I'll do that. I feel like doing a year of East would be like a year of Zelda, except less puzzle focused. Because East is a lot more combat focused than Zelda is. So, but that'll happen. Next year, I don't know what next year is too much. I do want to start planning, like maybe by summer, I'll have more concrete plans for next year. But as of right now, I'm expecting next year to be a Final Fantasy year. If I wanted to be smart, this year would be a Final Fantasy year, with all this stuff coming out and everything. Rebirth probably coming out at the end of this year. Final Fantasy 16 coming out this year. It'd be smarter to do Final Fantasy. But like I said before, I don't care about that kind of thing. Micromanaging my life to where it dictates every little. I let the algorithm and current events dictate everything I do. And maybe that's a bad way for a creator to think because, what if you were only able to find me because I did something that was current at the time? Like the Falling in Love with Xenoblade 3 video. I know a lot of my current viewers found me from that video because that video popped off, and if I didn't cover that game right when it was new, and maybe I just decided to make a video on it now, maybe all those people who found me wouldn't have found me, maybe they wouldn't have found me. So I don't know. I don't know. No explanation. Explanation for what? Did I hear East? Yeah, I'd really love to do a year of East. I don't own all the East games, so I'd probably, in preparation for a year of East, I'd need to go and get all of the games. I know they're actually re-releasing Oath and Felghana. It's funny because for my birthday, actually, I think it was for Christmas. Actually, I think it was Christmas or my birthday, one of the two. My friend Jaden XV, shout out to him. He actually bought me Oath and Felghana. It's an East game, on Steam. And I was like, dude, yes, let's go. I mean, I know the game was only a couple dollars, but I just hadn't bought it at the time. I think it's like $15, not on sale, but I really wanted it because dang, the music in that game is great. I listened to that game soundtrack a lot. I know I broke my law of my own rules of saying I don't listen to video game OSTs. Like I don't like listening to RPG OSTs without context at first, because I genuinely feel RPG music is better with context. I promise you it's better with context. Like I feel like a lot of the Trails music that I like right now, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much if I didn't play the games first. Like you'll never see me listening to music for a game I haven't played. You won't see me doing that. I like, especially like go and look in my videos, check out all my videos. You'll never hear an OST of a game I've never played. You might not know that I've played it, like if you hear, I don't know, friggin' ukulele music in the video, I played ukulele. I never listen to game soundtracks of stuff I've never played because I genuinely feel that video game music is better in context. Dang it, some of them Kingdom Hearts songs they already hit because they're well-made pieces of music. Dang it, when you know the weight behind what that music represents, bro, peak, or peak. Snyder's the one with East Brain Rot high key. I knew he wanted me to play East 8, but I didn't realize he was like in the rabbit hole like that. I mean, that applies to other genres too, but fair. Yeah, I say RPGs just because it's the main thing I play. But yeah. Eventually, when we've more established ourselves, maybe we're at 20K, maybe we're at 30K, 40K, 50K, who knows, whenever it happens, and the views are consistent enough to where I can experiment, I would like to do like main series videos for non-RPGs. Like I would love to cover the Resident Evil games. Like it may not seem like it as me as a guy who talks about Chrono Trigger and Octopath and Trails games, but dang it, I love Resident Evil, bro. I played every single game. Well, granted, I'm not the biggest fan of 5 and 6, but like the classics, I haven't played the classics in a hot minute. I've played the remakes a lot more lately just because they're on Steam. I would love for the classics to be added to Steam as well. Come on, Capcom. I want to play the OG RE3, man. I want to play the OG. But I think a year of doing that, I'd do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then I'd probably do RE one, I'd do the 1 remake, 2 remake, 3 remake, RE8. I'd do all those. Jordan, I just found out my physical copy of Prime Master got delayed by 5 days. I am in shambles, dude. Bro, some of these people have already beaten that game already. I know you got it physical. Dang. It's weird. I was never the biggest fan of Metroid Prime. I like, it's weird. I like Prime a lot. But I think the thing that hurts me the most in that game is the map. Oh my Lord. And I know somebody who's played the game a lot won't be able to understand my struggle. But dang it. Dang. Did you see Kingdom Hearts Missing Link intro video? Nope. I don't really keep up with Kingdom Hearts unless it's something big happening. I mean, again, I'm a fan of Kingdom Hearts. That ain't no secret, but I'm also not really in a rush to like find out a whole bunch of stuff. Like I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if I waited for Missing Link's story to finish before I actually touched it. I know that may be weird, especially coming from me, but I can't say I've fallen out of love with Kingdom Hearts. It's just that Kingdom Hearts was a big part of my life for so long that I'm care a lot about my time apart from it. You know, you know how they say distance makes the heart grow fonder? Yeah, that's basically what I'm going with right now. I'm waiting for myself to not be able to resist it again, you know? I'm waiting for that because uh I'm just ready for the Kingdom Hearts stuff to come out at this point. Not you, just man, everybody's been playing it but me. Yeah, I know. I have a friend who's been playing it too. I'd probably game share it off of my friend um to play it, I guess. But while I own the game legally, I do. But I also have the PC version of Metroid Prime Trilogy, and playing that when it was like reworked to have keyboard and mouse controls, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's amazing. Literally, Metroid Prime with keyboard and mouse controls is so amazing, so amazing. Dude, I'm really excited to start the podcast, man. I mean, it's already started for me because I've already recorded it with homies, but and it's gonna be kind of like some of this stuff has already happened. Some of the current events and stuff we talk about have already happened now. Like we talk about our expectations for Forspoken and the general community consensus. And spoiler alert, I was right. But Forspoken wasn't out when we had recorded that. So just so you can kind of get an idea of when we recorded it. Actually, I could probably say right now when we recorded that. We recorded that. Uh, we were in that call for 5 hours. Lord. That was the 21st of January. So it's almost been a month. What's up, QLimp? Good to see you. I don't really, you don't really like FPS, so I'm really alienated, but you don't really play FPS. So I'm really alienated by keyboard and mouse. I'm understanding being objectively better for aiming, but I just can't. I was the same way. I was a controller boy. Like, for those that don't know, I practically didn't know what a PlayStation was until high school. Yeah, I mean, I'd say late middle school, I had a PS2, and that's when I started playing through the PS2 goats and stuff like that. So obviously, yeah. Um, but it wasn't until like my 10th grade year where my friend gave me a PS3, and that's when I played The Last of Us. I played Final Fantasy 8, and I played Persona 3. There was a lot of games I played, especially RPGs, because I was getting into JRPGs then, but I just don't remember anything about them. Like Tales of Symphonia. I also played Tales of Symphonia. I have no idea what Tales of Symphonia is about. It's crazy. Literally, most of what I played back then, I don't remember what it's about, but I do remember Persona 3. Persona 3 hit me so hard that I can't forget about Persona 3. Persona 3, even now, has the greatest ending in dang near fiction. I'd say the only ending in anything that really compares is like The Last of Us. The Last of Us's ending, like, is like one of the craziest things on the planet. And Persona 3's ending is the only thing that really comes close. What do you think of the Jump Force PS4 fighting game? Jump Force is a not good game. I like Jump Force casually. but only like one match, and then I'm done. Jump Force is a game that didn't need to fail, but definitely was going to, and did. It didn't deserve to fail. Okay, it did deserve to fail because it was a low quality product, but it didn't deserve, the project conceptually didn't deserve the failure it got. Final Fantasy X. What, Final Fantasy X's ending is better? No shot. Final Fantasy X. I did beat Final Fantasy X for the first time in like 2022, I think. Hold up, I can look on my Steam. Let me look at Final Fantasy X. When did I last play that? September 9th, 2021 is when I beat that game. So it's been over a year. But I played that game for the first time. It has a great ending. It's held back by the final boss. But narrative, for the narrative's sake, for its goodness, I'd still say it doesn't touch Persona 3 and The Last of Us. It doesn't touch those. It doesn't touch those. I will say you have a game full of anime people and they went for realistic shaders. My only take on that game is I think it looks ugly and therefore I did not buy it. That game does look pretty ugly. But my thing is, I think the lighting was the worst part because it's one, everybody looks like they're wet. Like they look like it just rained a lot of the time. And I don't think that's very flattering on a lot of these plasticky models. You know, the lighting doesn't help when the models themselves. And the thing is, not all of the models were bad. Like I think Luffy, like the One Piece characters looked great. And in relatively, I think some of the Dragon Ball characters looked fine too. I think Goku looked okay. Frieza was horrible. The Hunter x Hunter characters also didn't look that great either. But I think the JoJo characters looked great. I think they looked great. I think Yu-Gi-Oh characters look great. Sorry, somebody brought up Jump Force. Why am I talking about Jump Force? The main character is completely butt and the story was way too predictable. I have not played enough Forspoken to really say anything. I am waiting for Square to continuously patch the game so I can actually have a bare minimum experience. I apologize, Square. They probably didn't like hearing that, but homie, I'm sorry. I think in the end, despite giving me a copy of the game, Square would prefer me to review the game after it's been updated than contributing to what people already know of the game not being in tip-top shape right now. Like I could review Forspoken right now and I wouldn't probably have the kindest things to say because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the story or the characters are good. If the game is terrible to play from a technical aspect, the game's lagging, it runs terrible, it's crashing, you know, I'm not going to have anything good to say about it, you know, and if I do, it'll be very brief. So I would rather personally, not just because, you know, I'm scared to say something bad about something Square gave me. That does not matter. And I'm sure Square knows that. I've already gave them enough lip when it was about the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster situation. But my thing is, I just don't like wasting my time talking about stuff I don't like. And if I have a feeling I won't like something, especially because of technical aspects, then I would rather just wait till it's possible to like it, you know, like that's just me. Like if Octopath Traveler 2 comes out on PC and it runs like trash, I know I would love Octopath Traveler 2, but I would wait to talk about it until it's actually in decent condition to talk about it. So I can judge the game for the game itself and not for its drawbacks, you know? That's what the difference, but that's the difference between me and I guess other creators. I don't consider myself a reviewer. I guess you can consider what I do reviews because I'm talking about whether I think this game is bad or not. But at the end of the day, you know, I only really recommend you guys play something if it's good. But I also don't want to waste my time talking about something I don't like. You know, I feel like talking about a game I don't like seems like an obligation video. Oh, hey, I got this game for free from this company. Thanks, guys. Now I have to tell you about, and I have to tell you for 20 minutes why this game is bad. You know, it's like at that point, if I got the game for free and it's bad, I'm not going to make a video on it. You know, why would I waste my time talking about something I don't want to talk about? And to some people, they may not like that. You know, they're here, you know, like if I'm doing a marathon of like the Zelda series, I may not like Zelda 2, you know, so I'm expected to talk about it. But for me, I only really consider doing marathons or videos on games I know I can say something good about. Like even the black sheep of the series, Zelda 2, I can talk good about Zelda 2. You know, I'm not going to shy away from saying things I don't like, but, you know, there's a difference between talking about things I don't like and just not liking something, you know? So there's a difference there. You're lucky. I wonder if that bleeds over to Kingdom Hearts. Just saying. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but Square Enix did provide me with all of the Kingdom Hearts games on PC. I mentioned that in the Kingdom Hearts 1 video that I did. But again, getting a code doesn't change how I feel about a game, and it would never influence what I actually write about it. Because at the end of the day, I care more about how I feel about it than what the company, you know, wants me to say. Square Enix has never asked me to say anything in particular about a game. So that's something y'all don't have to worry about. They've never paid me a dime to talk about any of these games either. I'm not obligated by contract to even play any of these games. It just is me in a personal sense. I feel bad getting a product from a company for free that millions of other people had to pay for, and I just didn't play it or I didn't talk about it. I like to get back to the companies, especially when it's a company I really do care for. Being sent back to the first demo of Zelda 2 is objectively peak design. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. Jump Force is bad because they made the game not good. It's not balanced. It's not pretty to look at. The online sucked. Everything mechanically a fighting game should strive for was not present in Jump Force. And no, I don't care if it's not in English. Like, I've been playing these Trails games. I've played through 4 Trails games, and not one of them have had a full English dub yet. I'm completely fine. That means nothing to me. The voice acting is already great. So I can get some people not liking subbed anime because it's anime, it's still going, it's a show. But in Trails, when it's in Japanese, it's dialogue boxes. I have to press A to continue. You know? But yeah, jokes aside, yeah, make sure you like the game, in my opinion, unless you think you get a laugh out of a negative review. If a game is bad, like say Zelda 2, for example, which isn't a bad game, it's just not a game I care for, I probably would put a funnier spin on it. You know, any negativity on my channel would probably be done in a more comedic light, just because it's not fun hearing people talk about something they don't like. The only time people like hearing others talk about things they don't like is when you don't like it. You know, like you played Forspoken, hated it. Now you're going into this review hoping they think the same thing you do. Those are the people who like that. And I get it. We've all felt that way. You know, like I remember back when RE6 came out, and I just hated everything RE6 attempted to be. I would watch reviews, hoping they were thinking the same thing I was. Like, am I the crazy one? There's no way that I'm the only one that's thinking this. And I wasn't. I will say for Cold Steel, I might do dub, mainly because I'm interested in hearing what some of the characters sound like in dub. Like Johnny Young Bosch voicing Joshua is like a big reason to play the game in English. I'm sorry, Johnny Young Bosch is like an inspiration to me. Yeah, I mean, Square at least knows I exist, but honestly, Square knows a lot of people exist. I think the biggest thing that people psych themselves out about is that they don't shoot their shot. I was talking about this with a friend earlier. You got to shoot your shot, man. And you can't be afraid to be annoying. You know, what you might think is annoying is passionate to someone else. You know, like to a PR guy, he may see you as being passionate. Like for me earlier, y'all saw me just gushing about Trails, not because I want to make videos on these games, but because video or not, these games are peak, man. Them games are fire, man. The games rock, and I can't stop thinking about it, bro. Like literally, you can ask Genma, you can look in our DMs, homie. I was deteriorating. Every day it got harder, and I know in class tomorrow I'm gonna have Get Over the Barrier, playing in my ear, well, Inevitable Struggle in my ear, Firm Strength in my ear, so it's like, and being recognized by the thing is, it's like companies will know when you just want a free game. These PR people have the job for a reason. They're not stupid, and if you're not somebody who just wants the game for free, then you have to be able to show that, especially with Squares. Like, this is like a little insider secret, I guess, but Square Enix does not give a crap about numbers. They don't. I mean, they care about you being someone passionate enough to talk about it. Because again, yeah, they are investing in you when they give you a product, So in a way, while they might not care about your numbers, they might care if you actually upload on this channel, or maybe they can look at your channel and see what kind of creator you are, They also care about how you present yourself. If you're somebody who clearly has a passion for the company or one of the products they make, then that needs to be shown. A lot of these PR guys aren't going to give a crap if they can tell you just want a free product. And shooting your shot doesn't mean just shooting, just going and submitting a request. It's more than that. Sometimes you got to get to know the PR people, a PR guy, if you follow a PR guy and start responding to their tweets, they're going to know that, yeah, this guy probably wants a game code. But it has to be more than that. You don't approach these people because, again, these are people. They're not just an outlet for you to get games from. And I'm saying this not directed towards anybody in particular. It's because I know some people like this. You should always be like, if you want to get codes from somebody, and especially if you're trying to go through PR people, you got to actually get to know these PR people, like a lot of like the PR guys at Square, like I'm friends with them. Like I consider them a friend, and I know they consider me a friend too, to where like in some situations, I don't have to ask for a game in order to get it. But that's not just because, he's going to review the game if I do it. They know how passionate I am about their company. So investing that in me is enough to where they know, even if I didn't give them this code, they would still talk about it. So in a way, just like how you would feel honored if you're going to do a project anyway, I'm going to do this review on Kingdom Hearts 3, for example, because you're going to do this Kingdom Hearts 3 review anyway, they would be honored to be able to endorse that or to make it easier for you to make that video, because that's what it is at the end of the day. Getting a review code more often than not is just so it can be easier for the creator to get the video out, you know? Now, it's not always that easy. There's a good chunk of times where you don't get the game till the day it comes out. So it's not like it's special or anything like that. But it doesn't always have to be. I do appreciate it when realtors or companies will give you the game early so I can have time to get a video out about it. Like Square with Crisis Core Remastered or Reunion. I was able to get that video out, you know, pre-release because I had it pre-release, you know? And granted, there is a bit of difficulty for that. I will tell you right now, unless you're a company like with a team and stuff like that, I don't recommend you do reviews for games early. You know, I say wait for embargoes to drop because usually there's all kinds of rules and stuff set up for it. There's all kinds of rules set up. Like say you can start uploading videos on this day, but you can't go past a certain point until this day. You know, at that point, I'd rather just wait till it comes out. I would rather get a review out day one than super early, personally. Because if it limits what I can talk about, like what if I really love or really hate this aspect of this game that just really affected my playthrough, but I can't talk about it because of embargo rules. And again, you can't break embargo rules because that's against the law, you know? So what's up, Blazing? I'm all right. What's up, Adam? Good to see y'all. I know it's been a while since I've streamed. I feel like I was talking for like 20 minutes without blinking. For me, I went with sub because I knew I'd be weirded out hearing the crossbow characters in English later on. Also, Dio Olivier. That's a big reason I want to play sub Dio Olivier, but also like hearing different actors and stuff like that. I don't want to hear different actors. It's like, you know how like the cinematic thing where you hear somebody's voice and you know who they are and they come on screen. It's like, yeah, it was them. You know, I can pinpoint Japanese voices pretty easy. You know, maybe it's because I've watched a lot of anime or whatever. But if if Joshua were to talk off screen and then come on screen, I'd know it was him before he shows up because I know his voice, you know? But if I were to switch to English, I wouldn't be able to do that anymore, you know? But I am really curious to see how Lloyd and them sound in English. I'm really curious about that, especially since I have like, I don't know if you can change it in Trails from Zero, but I had like the English battle quotes, the Japanese battle quotes. That's the same thing for the Sky games, which I think is rare because like a lot of people that I've seen in like and stuff like that, they had the English battle quotes in the Sky games on. I had Japanese on because I just thought it would be weird to hear them in English in the gameplay and then hear them Japanese in the cutscenes. So I'm not playing music right now. It is literally my voice talking. The reason I did that was because it was a pretty serious stream. It kind of turned into a regular talking stream, but it was a pretty depressing stream for like the first 50% of it. But yeah, I mean, they know the company's not stupid. They know people were playing the game for free online with fan translations. They know what people were doing. They hired the dudes who made it to work with them for it. So they know. So it's like, I don't know. We'll see. You still have to remember, like, even though it may be common knowledge to the community, it's not common knowledge to the people, the bigger audience that's about to get their hands on it, you know? I wonder if Square see my voiceover videos. You'd be surprised how much. I mean, Nomura himself has said they watch a lot of videos, like Kingdom Hearts discussion theory videos before and stuff. So it's like it makes sense. So I guarantee you that someone at Square has seen your work before. It's all in your intentions behind it. I guarantee you, whatever you personally feel, whatever your intentions are when you make something, it will be noticed. For better or for worse, it will be noticed. So whatever you do, only do something you really care about. I mean, sometimes you got to do stuff you don't care about. I get it, that's life. But in this content creation field, people are going to be able to notice when you don't care. That is why I stopped doing Kingdom Hearts videos, because it became pretty freaking obvious I was making them out of obligation. And I think the people who chose to support me deserve a little bit better than me not caring what I'm talking about. Like, you guys have heard me this stream going on about Trails and Zelda and East and stuff like that. You know, having games talking about I really like. Why would you want to hear me when you see how I get when I like something? Why would you ever want to hear me talk about something I obviously don't care about? Just because you as the viewer care about it does not mean you'll care about hearing me talk about it. It's like you're trying to be excited talking about this thing, you know, this new Kingdom Hearts thing or whatever, but the guy you're watching doesn't seem excited about it at all. So that kind of kills your vibe, you know? That would make me not want to watch this guy. You know, it's like, even if I can't really detect that he doesn't really want to talk about this, I can detect that he ain't as excited as me, you know? He ain't making it seem like a big deal. At the end of the day, this gaming stuff ain't a big deal. But when you like something, you'll make it a big deal, you know? Got off from work, one vibe in the stream. Haven't seen you in a minute. You always keep up growing on the videos. Yeah, I haven't been around in a while. TLDR for those that are just coming in and weren't here earlier. The depression arc hit and hit hard. I was at a pretty low point to where basically dealing with any responsibilities and obligations just became hard to handle. And I was crumbling under the weight of it all, I guess. And when that weight was relieved, I just didn't want to do anything, you know? And the days that used to be filled with scripting and recording and, you know, footage gathering, like quickly turned into sitting in front of my computer watching Netflix and anime and all that stuff. And it just became a ghost of my former self. Now I'm trying to get my health right. I'm trying to look somewhat decent, you know, especially since you'll be seeing my face a lot more in videos and stuff now. But I haven't read books in a while, but there was a time, maybe I keep forgetting, it's been 3 years since COVID started, Lord. But especially early COVID, I was reading books all the time. The last time I was really heavy into books, I was probably like 22. So a couple of years ago, 23. I was reading the Percy Jackson books. Never read the Percy Jackson books, but I loved it. I couldn't put them down. They were just so good. I was enjoying it. Loved it. And like every moment, because I was working at a call center back then. And like between every call I was just always reading the next page. Let me see if I can finish this page before the next call comes in. Oh, I finished this page. Let me see if I can get another one in. You know, on my break, take the book with me, eating, doing book, you know, reading book. So I do love books. I do. I genuinely do. You know, I just find it hard to make time for them now because books are something I guess you kind of have to respect, I guess. So it's like, it's hard to pick up a book and just sit down and read it these days. But for me, I would probably do well to have something like Audible to where while I'm doing dishes or driving or shopping or something like that, I can have the book read to me. I could probably get a lot out of that. And no worries. Mental health is the most important thing. My wife makes me go outside in the sun and make sure I eat properly. Hey, that's what, shout out to her. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here too. I've got something I gotta take care of as well now. And I think I've basically covered everything. So just to recap, we're going to be doing have a good one, Genma. And thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. This year is mainly going to be focused on Trails games. Those are going to be the core videos for this year. Anything else is going to be a side project. So don't expect me to really cover Final Fantasy like that unless it's a side project, like a Final Fantasy spin-off or something happens, you know? So don't expect anything like that. Don't expect Fire Emblem like that unless till I'm ready, I guess. Unless I say different. And I will say, out of all the commissioned art that I've been doing for the thumbnails, because those of you guys that missed, I do have a thumbnail artist now. She already did do the artwork for the first Fire Emblem video, but I kind of went a little bit early on that. I probably shouldn't have done that until I had already beaten the game and started writing for it and stuff, because during the writing and recording process, there's going to be some days there. So during that time, it probably would have been enough time for her to go and make the artwork. So that's my bad. That's my bad. I'll keep the artwork until it's time to actually cover it, you know. And yeah, that might mean it's a year from now. But like I said before too, I kind of don't care when Trails is involved right now. So, but yes, go and check her out. Do I have her link right here? I gotta check my DM. I'm gonna start putting that in the link in the description as well. But yes, this is my thumbnail artist. You can definitely check out her stuff. Please commission her. She deserves all the work in the world that she would like to have. Let her know I sent you. Her work is freaking great and she deserves everything. So that's going to be it from me. Again, if I'm going to work on a side project, it will very likely either be Tokyo Xanadu, Octopath Traveler, or Neo The World Ends With You. So just so you have an idea. But that's going to be it for me. Adam says he's almost done with Heaven's Ward. So subscribe to his channel because it's getting crazy right now. It's getting crazy right now. It's getting crazy right now. I know Adam been going through it in them dungeons, man. Those bosses, bro. I need to catch up on the VOD. I think I'm like 2 streams down of his. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Subscribe to V2 in the chat if you guys haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it's good to be back. And I really do appreciate you guys supporting me during the time I've been gone, whether it's been rewatching the videos or anything like that, or sharing the stuff for the first time. I appreciate it regardless. It's going to be a good year, and I'm really ready to get my late start initiated. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't. And I will see you all in the next video. Did I stream with something? Hey, I'm gonna have to put on that VOD. But thank y'all for watching. Good night. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. 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 I don't know where OBS is. Where is it? Oh, it's all the way over here.